We made it. We can breathe. We are over the finish line. There are still 2 games left to go in this season. But in Season 7 of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode, we can confirm that we will remain a Premier League club. 2 really important points in the last episode against Tottenham and against Everton helped secure our status as a Premier League club next season. But we got a little bit of help from Coventry along the way. They just couldn't win a game down the stretch and close the gap. And they will be resigned to relegation this season along with Crystal Palace and Leicester City. Our manager rating is still at critical, and that's not least because the board wanted us to finish mid-table this season, and 17th certainly isn't mid-table. We have, however, achieved a number of the other objectives. Like our youth development objectives, both of them have been met. One of our brand exposure objectives is being met, as well as both of our short-term financial objectives. And I'm hoping that another season in the Premier League will be enough to allow Hans Newman to keep his job. We have 2 games to get to in the final episode of Season 6. A home game against Leeds, which we are about to play in full, and then a game against Bournemouth, which we will be quick simming. This is the way that Leeds will line up today. Not a terrible run of form for the side. Darwin Núñez continues up front, and he's going to be a big reason why they have an 87 rating in attack. Josh Key, of course, a Leeds player now, but he only makes the bench, doesn't make the starting lineup. And Robin Koch steps up into midfield to make the start of this game. Jack Harrison returns to Leeds. So it's a lot of pace and a lot of dynamism going forward for Leeds, but we're not going to run from them. We're going to play a 4-3-3 formation. As we said, we are secure in our place in the Premier League next season, so we're going to play aggressive. We're going to try and win this game. We're going to try and score goals. No reason to do anything other than try and put on a show for the home crowd. So without further ado, let's head over to Redmont Arena and see if we can finish Season 6 with a bang. We are up in the commentary booth for the last time in Season 6 here in the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode. We are a Premier League club still. Not just this season, but we will be next season as well. 2 games left to play here. But our safety has already been confirmed. Poor challenge from Jack Harrison early in the game here. Gets a yellow card. Darwin Núñez not happy. One thing I did neglect to mention that we saw in the intro to the game there is that Hakon Arnar Haraldsson is actually an ex-Leeds player. Darwin Núñez was the player brought in not to replace Haraldsson exactly, but to supplant Haraldsson. Haraldsson, a disappointment at Leeds, but he settled in well at Redmont. And Darwin Núñez, the man who Leeds expected to really upgrade their team over Hakon Arnar Haraldsson. And certainly an upgrade, you would say. However, he is a much older player. Haraldsson, much younger, I believe 26. Darwin Núñez, I believe into his 30s at this point here in the game. And that was nicely worked from Haraldsson initially, but wasn't quite on his toes enough to pick up the second ball from Christian Caceres. And Leeds attack down this right-hand side. Only 4 at the back today, so we're going to have to be more alert defensively, particularly with the likes of Jesse Cartwright and Patrick Pfeiffer. Balimuma does a good job there. And Haraldsson could be away on this left-hand side. Christian Caceres with a nice run up ahead of him. And Josh Sargent just peels off his man. Caceres lays it wide to Haraldsson, who's in space. And McAteer's at the back post, but cleared by the Leeds man before he could get his head on it. We're hoping to give the home crowd a couple of goals to cheer about today. The result doesn't matter too much. Obviously, it would be nice to win in the last home game of the season. Give the fans something to think about as the season ticket renewal promotions come through in the post. So we'll certainly try and win the game. But the result, obviously, ultimately unimportant, as Ismail Assad takes a shot from range, which I think he'd like to forget about. Not a good effort. But positive. Confident at the very least. Ismail Assar backing himself to score. Even if no one else in the stadium really did. And Patrick Pfeiffer and Jesse Cartwright just work the ball between them at the back. Jesse Cartwright plays a nice ball forward to Haraldson. Lays it off to Barley Mumba. He's got two Leeds defenders for company, so he just turns back. Christian Caceres just finds Patrick Pfeiffer. Sacha Bowie with an eager run on that right-hand side. We could have done with him just sitting in and receiving the ball to his feet there. Just like Max Weber has done here. Darwin Nunez pressing. Leeds in general pressing fairly high, making it difficult for us to make any real headway here. And forces Patrick Pfeiffer to step up from his position in the centre of our defence to try and get something going. Sacha Bowie wriggling away from the Leeds pressure on the right-hand side. Crosses into the box. And the Leeds defender takes it down and clears. Leeds away on a quick counter-attack once more. Burrows, the young right-back, was beating all ends up in the last game. And Barley Mumba steals the ball away so that Haraldson can challenge Burrows once more. He just gets outside him, chips the ball back into Josh Sargent. He goes with the head. Potentially he could have volleyed that with his left foot. But we know Josh Sargent not as confident with his left foot as he is with his right. Chose to header it instead. Probably more confident with his head than he is with either foot, to be fair to him. And that's a part that's got far too much on it for Darwin Nunez. Even Darwin Nunez, pacey as he may be, to get onto the end of the pass. And Sacha Bowie is also a man who has pace. He doesn't have the pace to run straight through Darwin Nunez, though. Darwin Nunez comes across to put a stop to that quick attack down the right-hand side, rather. And Christian Caceres just lays it back to Barley Mumba. It's not been the game that the Redmont Rangers fans were hoping to see when they showed up. It's not been the game that the players were hoping to give the fans either. It's been a fairly mundane start here at Redmont Arena. And Haraldson loses out this time to Burrows. He had his number last time we played. And it's a good challenge there from Haraldson as he cuts inside onto his right foot. Just gets caught up on a crowd of bodies there as he tried to cut inside. And Christian Caceres is going to have to come out to cover Haraldson's vacated position. Haraldson's actually beaten by Burrows this time. It's been an interesting battle by those two over the course of the couple of fixtures that they've played against each other this season. Balimumba and Christian Caceres combining to win the ball back, but all we can do is give it straight back to Leeds. It's been a scrappy start to the game. Burrows and Haraldson at it again. Ethan Ampadu now. Oh, and it's a good challenge from Haraldson, and Josh Sargent is away. I was a little worried the referee might call handball in there. And Josh Sargent takes too long, too many touches, and allowed the Leeds player to get back in position and to block the shot. I was convinced the referee was going to call it back initially. It looked like as Haraldson slid in there, he used a hand to corral the ball. But Haraldson is in behind. Jesse Cartwright finds him. Lays it back to Barley Mumba. James McAtee in the box too, but again can't get there. Bowie challenges Nunez and leaves him in a pile on the ground. Oh, and Leeds could be away. Sacha Bowie stepped up to make the challenge there, and he's back in position. That's one thing we say about Sacha Bowie. He's not the most reliable defender, but he does have the pace to make up for his mistakes. And Leeds are going to have the pace to make up for their mistake here, and it looks like they're not going to. James McAtee into the box, and it cracks against the bar. That should be 1-0. It's the first real chance of the game. A mistake by Redmont Rangers, matched by a mistake from Leeds. But James McAtee can't find the finish. Should have been the goal that put us ahead half an hour into the game. But instead it's simply going to be a free kick, a goal kick here for Leeds. Josh Sargent putting on the pressure as he always does up front. Almost forcing Leeds into another mistake in quick succession there. Balimumba steps up and makes the challenge well. Christian Caceres. McAtee had made a good run, but wasn't found by Caceres. And Leeds just stand on the ball to prevent the quick free kick. And why Caceres has chosen to kick it backwards, I have no idea. Patrick Pfeiffer standing directly in front of him. I make no input on the left stick whatsoever. I just press pass rather than passing it directly forward as you would expect Caceres to do if you don't tell him where to put it. He turns around and boots it straight back towards Bobek. Sarr, ball in. Caceres can't header. Leeds come away with it. Darwin Nunez lays it off to Ethan Ampadu. There's Jack Harrison and Bueno with the overlapping run. It's a nice ball into Darwin Nunez as well, who finds the Leeds man, strikes towards goal, and it's a comfortable save from Bobek as Darwin Nunez comes across to take the corner. Not sure that's the approach that I would have if I was the Leeds manager. I would very much want Darwin Nunez in the box, but if they're going to take it short, I mean, I guess that's a strategy you can use. That's a really good save from Alexander Bobek. The first was comfortable. That certainly wasn't. That was a very good save. It was an awkward one. An awkward height for him. And he had to kind of bend his body backwards there as he dived to make the save. But he managed to prevent the ball from going into the back of the net, and we can come away with it here. A quick break of our own as Ismaila Sarr bursts through the middle. Doesn't quite have the pace to get there, and the Leeds man does deal with it well. Just booted clear by the Leeds goalkeeper. And we'll get the ball back in play quickly here. Switching it to Balimumba, but it's a Leeds player in close proximity. Balimumba, good run. Can he get there? Yes, he can. James McAtee in a really good position, but hooked clear by the Leeds man. We're piling on a bit of pressure at the end of this first half, and we will step up into our attacking game plan and try and pile on a little bit more. Here's Max Weber. Good feet from Max Weber, and it's going to be a free kick here. We don't need to take it quickly with Ismaila Sarr. Instead, we'll allow Christian Caceres to take it, and we'll just chip it into the box. That might be a bit much. It's actually not. It's into a very good area. Headed clear by Leeds, though. James McAtee on this left-hand side. Can he wriggle away from the Leeds man? Yes, he can. Not too many players in good positions there, though, especially Josh Sargent, who, for some reason, has come out to this left-hand side. We needed him in the box there. And still players over on the left-hand side here. James McAtee being one of them. There's Josh Sargent in the box. Leeds man is first to the ball, though. Nodded down by Leeds. And another mistake from Sacha Bowie. Gifting the ball to Jack Harrison. And Leeds have worked it inside, and Harrison is away. Harrison met by Harrelson, though. And we could, if we are quick, create one last opportunity here in the first half. Christian Caceres brings it down on the edge of the box on his chest. Couple of Leeds defenders in the area, though. Christian Caceres strikes towards goal. Will it fall to James McAtee? It won't. And Sacha Bowie competes for the header but can't win it. Oh, James McAtee nicks it back, though. And again, if we're quick, we could have one final opportunity here in the first half. McAtee from range was with his right foot. It was blocked by a Leeds man. And that should be the end of this first half with the score 0-0. So we said we want to try and finish the season with a bang. We said we want to try and give the Redmont Rangers fans a couple of goals to cheer about here. It's not happened in the first half. It has been a decent performance and a relatively comfortable game for us so far, but we'll look to step it up in the second. So back out for the second half here at Redmont Arena. We're going to stick in our attacking game plan. I'd very much like to win this game. I'd very much like to score a goal or two to send the home fans away happy. I'm not sure if it's going to contribute to Hans Newman keeping his job either, the results in these last couple of games. You would have thought that it wouldn't be particularly impactful since we are safe and there's not going to be, you know, even if we were to finish one place higher with a couple of good results on the last 2 games of the season, there's really no difference between 16th and 17th, even 15th and 17th. And I'm not sure based on the table we can even finish in those positions. So these last couple of games, ultimately meaningless. However, you never know. The board may just see it as a string of bad results, and although we stay up, just too much momentum lost. The club is taking a downward trajectory rather than an upward one, and they may decide to fire Hans Newman. So we'll try and get the win for our manager as much as anything. Leeds it is, who have started brighter here in the second half though. Possession in our half of the field, and lots of it at the moment. Sasha Bowie puts an end to that though. Leeds, however, will continue to press. Every time they lose the ball, they are quick to try and win it back at the very least. Ismail Assar, lots of space on the right-hand side for Haraldson. And Josh Sargent is in. Acres of space in the box. Haraldson can't find him though. Josh Sargent had taken up an offside position, so we couldn't play it to him initially. And there's James McAtee now on the ball. Sasha Bowie up in support. Again, he's going to cross it in. Haraldson this time. Is he offside? The goalkeeper saves, so it doesn't matter. I think potentially Haraldson might have been offside there. Ismail Assar wriggles away from his man. Can he pull it back across? Yes, he can. Struck towards goal. What a save. Really good effort from James McAtee. First time on the volley from about the penalty spot. And it was a really good save from the Leeds goalkeeper. So we will look for Josh Sargent from this corner. He's been harder and harder to find. He is there though. I think it was Josh Sargent's head that got to the ball. And we're going to have to be careful here as Darwin Nunez comes away on the right-hand side. Might have lost a step or two due to age, but certainly looks pretty rapid. Bali Mumba rapid himself though, and does a really good job of dealing with Darwin Nunez there. Fantastic defending from Bali Mumba. Just calm and patient, and Alexander Bobek clears. Just a little bit of field position. Don't mind that at all. As Leeds work the ball down the left-hand side after the throw-in. James McAtee stealing the ball back in midfield though, and keeping it by releasing to Jesse Cartwright. Patrick Pfeiffer. Bali Mumba on the left-hand side. Plays Ismail Assar in behind. Can he cut between those two Leeds defenders? He can't. It's a good run from Christian Caceres though, and I fear he might be offside. And he is. Looking to cut it onto Josh Sargent's right foot and get a shot away. It was a nice pass from Ismail Assar, but it was just a tick too late. It was closer than I thought. I thought there was daylight between Caceres and the back line, but it wasn't. It wasn't that obvious. Very narrowly offside as Ismail Assar steals the ball away. Max Weber it is this time. Trying to thread the ball through to Christian Caceres, but defended well by Leeds. What a challenge from Patrick Pfeiffer. Sliding at the feet of Darwin Nunez. Here's Christian Caceres. Can't release the ball. Sasha Bowie had made a good overlapping run, but we just couldn't find him. Leeds man stealing in to nick the ball away just before Caceres could release it. And it's a good challenge from Max Weber though, and Ismail Assar is away. Josh Sargent with the run in behind. Leeds defenders are not the quickest. And Josh Sargent cuts in onto his left. Support from Bueno though gets there just in the nick of time. Sargent had managed to squeeze through that gap and wriggle away from the Leeds defender. But Bueno back to support his teammate. Good defending again between Caceres and Haraldson, and it's Sasha Bowie this time running in behind the Leeds defence. Cuts inside. Haraldson out on this right hand side now as well. Cut out again by Bueno. Haraldson not giving up the fight though, and it's an interesting pass back to the Leeds goalkeeper. That could be an own goal, and the Leeds goalkeeper manages to clear just in time. This goalkeeper was a menace last time we played Leeds as well. He had an excellent game. And very much kept his side in it. That's poor. James McAtee. Sacha Bowie making a run up ahead. Max Webber though. Here's Patrick Pfeiffer. Wiley Mumba on the left-hand side. Running behind from McAtee is trying to get something going, but wasn't the best of runs. Almost gave the ball away to Darwin Nunez there. But Patrick Pfeiffer just about managed to tidy up. Nice little ball into Ismail Assar. Now James McAtee on the left-hand side. Again, he can't quite find the space to cross or release, though. Max Webber, Christian Caceres, and the pass is behind him. We've just been poor in the final third today, that's all. We've been good defensively, we've been strong in midfield, but we just haven't been able to unlock that door in the final third. And Max Webber unable to squeeze it through to Josh Sargent to try again to do just that. Ismail Assar. Active on defence there, but can't quite steal it away. He does on the second time of asking though, and Wiley Mumba comes away on this left-hand side. We need some good runs in the box. Wiley Mumba finds James McAtee, and it's a tame header. Again, it was potentially an opportunity to take it down and get a shot away. And in the end, it's just a tame header that the goalkeeper saves more than comfortably. Wiley Mumba with a good run outside Ismail Assar. Leeds very robust in defence. Trying to take away those passing options in the final third. And we just have to work it across the field really. Sacha Bowie, Jesse Cartwright, there's Patrick Pfeiffer and Max Webber. Nice little reverse pass to Josh Sargent. It cuts out onto his right foot, strikes towards goal, and I thought that was it. I thought that was the goal to break the deadlock. It was a really good effort from Josh Sargent. Nice little ball into his feet, and he just cut it onto his right foot and struck from the edge of the box. And it'll be a triple change for Redmont Rangers here. McAtee, Caceres and Webber all coming off. Garbett, Lewis and Mendes all coming on. We are still in our attacking formation. We are still trying to get a win in this last game of the season at home. Nice little run from Matthew Garbett. Couldn't quite bring it in before he half turned into the penalty area. Oh, I thought that was a poor pass and that Alex Lewis was going to be able to steal that ball, but it just squeezes by his foot. Haraldson has come into that number 10 position now in place of James McAtee, so he's going to be sitting just behind Josh Sargent to try and create something. Mendes and Garbett sitting just behind, and it could be Leeds who break the deadlock here though. Into the side netting, I think after a save from Alexander Bobek. And the Redmont Rangers players celebrating with their goalkeeper, but it's really not that much to celebrate about. There's Josh Sargent. We want him to get his head to a corner at the other end of the pitch ideally though. Mendes asking for the ball into his feet, and he gets it. There's Haraldson. Players on this right-hand side if we can find them. And the pass is overhit by Haraldson. We had 3 players over there. A clear overload on that right-hand side. And is this Josh Key coming on? It looks as if it is. It is an appearance from Josh Key against his old club. It sounds like jeers and boos. Not beers and Jews. That would be something a whole lot different. But jeers and boos for Josh Key as he comes on to replace Robin Koch in what I believe is a central midfield position for Leeds. And we are away here on the right-hand side. Alex Lewis finds Matthew Garbett, who can't find a Redmont Rangers player. Alex Lewis back on the ball, though. Back heels it into the Leeds man. And I think that's going to be a free kick, and it is. Looked to be a corner, but I think the assistant referee on this side saw a hand. We are not going to have Josh Sargent take it. We're going to have Haraldson to put it in towards Mendes. Bounces off a couple of players. And eventually the goalkeeper collects. 5 minutes to go in the game. Still 0-0. It's really not been the game that we were hoping it would be. A bore draw. is not what the fans were hoping to see. It's not what the players were hoping to give the fans. But it's looking like it's going to go that way here late in this game. A late winner certainly wouldn't be the worst thing for us. Might not have been the most exciting game, but everybody loves a late winner. Haraldson can't quite get to the ball before Burrows. Can't quite steal it back from Leeds as they work it down the right-hand side here either. Haraldson very much tiring here late in the game. And Burrows beats out Barley Mumba. Burrows also on his last legs. Does manage to squeeze past Barley Mumba though, and it's a good challenge from Patrick Pfeiffer to stop the cross from coming in. And Alfonso Mendes eventually hooks clear. Josh Sargent and Haraldson, as well as Matthew Garbutt, pressing high up the field. Garbutt was almost in to steal the ball away there. And Haraldson is in to steal the ball away, and he has found Josh Sargent. Does he have the pace to make it past the Leeds defender, Doyle? Yes, he does. Does he have the composure to finish? No, he doesn't. He puts it wide. Would have been a nice end to the season for Josh Sargent. He's had a difficult one. And he just didn't quite have the composure to finish there. As we enter the first minute of injury time, it's a short goal kick by the Leeds goalkeeper. Ismail Assar coming across to try and force a mistake from the Leeds defence. They do work it out. 2 Burrows on this right-hand side, though. Barley Mumba almost steals the ball away. And can we find the time to get one last attack in the game? We should be able to. We're going ultra-attacking for these last couple of minutes. Alfonso Mendes just plays the ball against the Leeds man, and Leeds are in behind. Jesse Cartwright trying to stop the attack, and he does. Matthew Garbutt, can he get the ball up the field? No, he can't. And it's a 0-0 draw on the last game of the season. It's not a loss, but fancy serving up the Redmont Rangers fans, these loyal, dedicated fans who have shown up week after week as their team have struggled to stay in the Premier League. We served them up a 0-0 draw in the last home game of the season. It's a shame, it's a disappointment, but that shouldn't take away from the positive season that we have had. It's been difficult, it's been frustrating at times, but again, we are a Premier League team next season. That's what we need to remember. So we do put another point on the board, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough for Hans Newman to keep his job. We've heard from the board yet again, this time about the dressing room unrest. Reports and speculation are damaging to the reputation of the football club, the board tell us. And despite managing to secure another season in the Premier League for Redmont Rangers, Hans Newman has been relieved of his duties. The board's confidence in us is just too low. They wanted a mid-table finish. Instead, we've just barely managed to avoid relegation. And they've wished Hans Newman the very best in his career. But they have decided to part ways with the young German manager. So that is the end of Hans Newman's time at Redmont. Contract has been terminated. The club are moving on. Hans Newman will need to be moving on as well. And the only job that Hans Newman could walk into as of today is a job with the team that he was battling with to avoid relegation towards the end of the season there. Redmont Rangers stay up, Coventry City go down to the Championship, and if Hans Newman wants to, he could try and bring Coventry back up next season.